Hi, this is Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GetUpNGetFit Wellness Coaching Concierge. I'm also a C-suite advisor and investor, and you're listening to the How May I Serve You podcast, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while looking to serve my corporate clientele better. And today's guest, we have George Goognin. Did I pronounce your last name right? Let me know.
Yeah, that's right. It's almost like Google.
Yeah. So everyone, so today I'm actually operating from a different platform. Normally I have my laptop and have my notes, but today I'm literally using my iPad because my laptop battery died, unfortunately. But we're going to have a great interview and a great discussion because Dr. George Goognin, he has so much to offer. So Dr. George Goognin, he's actually the founder of Evita, as well as the co-founder of Karma Investments. So this gentleman in front of me, right now he's currently in Moscow. Right now he's all the way in Moscow, and he took the time to come and have this conversation with me, which is amazing. So Dr. George Goognin, he has launched so many different startups. He's been in this game since 2007. So from 2007 to 2017, he's automated large financial corporations and e-commerce as such as Lego, Samsung, Apple, Nike. Ooh, these are some big names. And he's
Yeah.
also big in the crypto space. And what I like about Dr. George Goognin is his belief. He believes that human capital is the most important asset we have. So he supports the UN Gross National Happiness Initiative, which aims to make people happiness more important than GDP. That's an amazing mission right there, Dr. George. So, first, before we dive further, man, I want you to tell us who you are, where you're from, and how you got started because you have so much information, so much to give. So, right now, I just want to be a sponge. Give me the 2 minute version of who you are, where you're from, and how you got started.
Yeah. I basically had a kind of dramatic up and down childhood. I'm from the USSR, and when I was growing up, my country has been exploded. There's no USSR at all. And we have kind of revolution with the tanks bombing the White House and all that stuff. It was frightening, basically. So the all Russian people were disoriented. So as were my parents, and we've got ups and downs. So my father was a millionaire, and he dumped down, and we lived in a communal apartment. It's like like a Marcy project in Brooklyn. But communal apartments is even worse than projects because they have one bathroom for a dozen of people. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's kind of yeah, trash kind of social housing. Yeah, but nevertheless, I have been studying tech. I have a bachelor and master degree in computer science and a PhD in math modeling and economy. And I also studied at Stanford about how to build a successful startup course. And I've also automated, yeah, a lot of banks. And when I was doing it, I always was struggling. Like, look, damn, like those folks don't know nothing. They're so lazy and their knowledge are so outdated, but they do billions, not me. That's why I was drilling down into fintech, and I have launched my own startup in 2017. And I've dived into crypto, and I have consulted a lot of government bodies across the world. So I have co-authored three federal laws about cryptocurrencies, our home country in Russia, and also I have consulted the Chinese central bank about the central bank digital currency. In their case, is digital yuan. And also I have consulted the parliament of South Korea and Brazil and Turkey. So I
Wow.
was like an ambassador, crypto ambassador at the government level across the world, and that was our charity initiative. And I kind of succeeded because Chinese guys launched digital yuan,
Mm-hmm.
and there are three federal laws about crypto in Russia, and there's a crypto ruble coming out this year. And South Korea is basically one of the most interesting places to make a crypto fintech startup in the world.
Wow, wow. So you
Yeah.
are the crypto guru in a sense, man. You're working with all these huge governments, agency, and just government in general. You're going in there and you providing advisement. So
Yeah.
would you consider yourself the crypto expert?
I'm studying myself every day. Yeah, but I know a bit. Yeah, in this area.
Got you, got you. So how are things right now in Moscow, man? I know with technology we're able to connect, we're able to work with just about anyone, anywhere, anyone across the world, right around the world. How are things out there in Moscow? Now, myself personally, I've not been there yet. So describe to me, man. How has experience been living and
Um,
also with work?
I basically live outside Moscow. I've built a house last year because of COVID and all that weird stuff with COVID, the ban of the hotels and restaurants, etc. It's very hard to live in a large city
Hmm.
like in New York, in Tokyo, Seoul, whatever, Moscow. So we've built our own house. And I'm an entrepreneur, so banks don't do mortgage for entrepreneurs, both in the U.S. and in Russia. So I've got to build it by my own, using my own money, and it was kind of hard but nevertheless, I saved a lot of money because when you build your house by yourself, not by my own hands, but you are like a general contractor,
Okay.
it will cost you twice cheaper than to buy the same type of house from the open market. So we
Really?
saved a lot of money. Yeah.
Okay.
No
Okay.
one wants to mess with the construction, but it really have a premium on the family budget.
That's good, man. That's good. You have to be, you have to do what makes sense, right? It's all about
Yeah.
being sensible when it comes to your finances. So
Oh
this way you
yeah.
can allocate it more towards investing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Me and my wife and my kid, older boy, we all treat our family budget like an investment portfolio, and we discuss
Mm.
it a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us more about that, right? Because like a lot of folks are just becoming more privy to financial literacy, and you have made it part of your family ecosystem and culture to know how to budget, know how to understand finance. So talk to me about that structure.
While I was raised in a poor family, I've got to like count pennies, and I knew what was the price of the food. Right now, I don't care, and I know what
Hmm.
was the price of the housing, etc., etc. So it was built a kind of foundation of my frugality, and that's why I always discuss with my son like what's valuable, like the
Okay.
money is valuable and your own time is even more valuable than money because
Hmm.
money could be printed, but no one can print money or no one can print time, no one
Yeah,
can roll
value.
back your time. Yeah, so the
Yeah,
time is more valuable and you got to properly invest your time considering the long-term goals that you have. And each time you're going to spend like a day or an hour on something, you got to understand why you're doing this. And are you playing another guy's game or you're creating your own games? And regarding the financial stuff, I just, we have the daily essay with my older boy. He writes a small essay in his iPad notes about, like,
hmm,
for instance, what are the prices of houses in Moscow or in New York? Why
wow.
are different boroughs have different prices? And what is better, like to buy a ruined house in a great location and renovate it, or to buy already renovated stuff, etc., etc. So he makes a small essay on a small topic every day, and that's kind of routine, and it's interesting for him because he Googles a lot. He know how to Google. That's a
Yeah.
very rare. skill nowadays, but very valuable. And he knows how to count money. And the only backdrop of it is like he's trying to make money from me. Like he
Of
recently
course.
organized an art gallery in our house,
Yeah.
and he charged me a like $15 per ticket from me and my wife.
Premium fee. Okay.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go, man. Listen, you're raising a little entrepreneur right there. But that's
Oh
great right there.
yeah.
You're teaching him financial literacy. You're teaching him, about providing value and assessment and being able to being able to figure things out for himself, right? Using research, which is amazing, and instead of just being in front of a TV mindlessly, or in front of a computer, I should say, right? I'm old school, mindlessly just consuming content. But this is good, man. You're definitely doing a great job. So, would you say your upbringing has really fortified these skill sets and these notions to be more, I guess, more tactical in your approach to life and business? Because we're both from childhood where we faced adversity, right? You living in Moscow, the USSR went through its chaos. I'm from Liberia. I also survived a civil war, a 14-year civil war. So I understand, and also our background. My grandmother, she was very well off before the Civil War hit. So I experienced being well off, a good life early on, and then I also experienced poverty and chaos. I'm pretty sure you have gone through the same thing. And for me personally, family, right, being raised with love in the midst of chaos has really taught me a lot of life lessons that I've been able to establish into the society, right? Which is like values, right? Stand for something or fall for anything, right? And be able to walk around with your head held up high, having a sense of pride, being able to provide value. Would you say the same thing for you? Because it seems like we have similar backgrounds, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I've got the same ups and downs. So my father was quickly became as quickly became a millionaire and
Mm-hmm.
also became bankrupt very fast. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got all the range of different experience in my life. While the overall family, so I was growing up like a weed. So no one cares about me. I was just like going to school by myself, making a breakfast, making a dinner, etc., washing dishes. So and the only influence there were two main episodes that have been built my fortress. Like the first one, I was in my childhood. I have like A grades almost every time because school was a no-brainer for me. And
Mm-hmm.
at the first time I've brought E, it's the lowest grade for the behavior. My father took my diary. It's like, give me a pen, and he changed the E to A, and said, "Look, just don't listen to them. You know the curriculum very well, and just don't
Okay.
care." So that's why I knew, like, oh, I can hack the system. That's nice. It's so easy. so so since then, I used to hack systems. That was a very important lesson. And the second lesson made by my granny, she had brought me a newspaper with young Bill Gates.
Mm,
He became the youngest billionaire in the world. He became like Forbes top one or something like that. And she said, "Look, George, you gotta learn English and you gotta be in tech." And it was
mm.
about 1995 or 1993 or something like that. So it was a very long-term vision by my grandma. So I was following that vision for a long time because yeah, he's a kind guy. He looked like a nerd, and he's a billionaire. He's a Forbes leader. That was great, and that inspired me a lot. And that's why I was studying. I have studied math and physics, and I have studied computer science at the university so hard.
Got it. So, George, how old were you then when your grandmother exposed you to that Bill Gates content? Were you like, how old
About
were you?
9 years old.
Wow, wow. You know, it's so, I find it so fascinating how kids, when they're exposed to certain things, they are influenced, right? For me, I was exposed to working out. My uncles used to work out. They created their own equipment out of concrete and metal and things within my grandmother's yard, and they built up the body.
Mm.
So I became influenced by them at an early age. And you were influenced by your grandmother exposing you to Bill Gates, right? And you got into
Yeah.
tech, and you had a goal, you had a model, and you were able to create these steps to work towards that model. Now look at you, man, you're doing great things. So I believe
Yeah.
exposure is such an important thing, man. Exposure, exposing kids at an early age is so important for the development. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. But it's very hard to make it easily digestible for the kids. So my both kids, they help me to become more clear with my talk, because
Okay.
I always try to explain them very complex stuff, but using a language of an 8 years old kid. It's a it's a it's an ex that's an exercise.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, they just say the best way for you to learn is to teach others, right? Because
Yeah,
through
for sure.
teaching,
Yeah.
you're repeating the steps again. So by you
Yeah.
teaching, by you trying to break down these complex steps and teach it to your 8-year-old, it allows you to revisit these steps, right, and break it down and redigest it. Which it's a great thing, man. It's a great lesson. So, George, like I said, I know you're working on a lot of different things right now, but I want you to tell us, what are you currently working on, and what gets you out of bed each night? What drives you, man?
Um, these are kind of two different questions, and I answer
Yeah.
them step by step. So first, right now I'm working on Evita, and we democratize access to the private real estate projects with the high yield. So anyone in the world with $100 in a pocket could
Hmm.
join the VIP club of the real estate investors and earn up to 20% APR,
Okay.
and that's huge. The most interesting thing in the private market is that, like, first, they grow twice as fast as public markets, and the
Mm.
second, they are strictly limited by the regulators to the accredited investors, to the rich
Yeah.
guys. And
Yeah.
that's why there's a lot of CLO processes, et cetera, et cetera. And we solve the liquidity issue, which is kind of serious there. So if you're investing in the private markets, you usually have to expose your investments for like 3 years or 5 years. And
Mm.
we provide an instant liquidity with a small, like 2 to 5% discount. The second
Okay.
one is we lower down the minimum check. Right now, the minimum check is like 100 grand, and we allow you to invest in $100, like 1,000 times less. And the third one is we allow you via cryptocurrency, via tokens, we allow you to borrow against your equity, and we allow you to build a leverage position and allow you to earn even more if you have like enough risk appetite. That's what
Okay.
we do.
It sounds like you have like a various approach, various very facets to what you're doing. So it's more like angel group investing, right? Like the way you have everything.
Not angel. So, for instance, real estate is growing at the same pace as the stock market, but more smoothly. Even in the housing crisis of 2008, the
Hmm.
real estate turned more smooth in the prices on average in the US, even more smooth than the stock market. And the second thing, which is important, that we don't just expose investors to the real estate. we allow them to put their money into projects which are dedicated to renovation. So the
Mm,
renovation of
okay.
real estate is when you pick the distressed object, distressed property in a great location, and you buy it with a huge discount, and then you renovate it, you do some painting, some rooftops, etc. You fill it with the new tenants, which paying the market price for rent,
Mhm.
and then you sell it to the huge real estate investment trust like BlackRock or whatever, charge whatever, and that's how you make money. So first you make money on rentals, and
Mhm.
second you make money on price appreciation, because initially you were having an ugly building, which is no one interested in. And at the end of the day, you have a beautiful renovated building with the new tenants, with the higher market rental fees, etc. So that's a real
Okay.
job to be done. Yeah, that's why it's so
Okay.
profitable.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like a lot going on when it comes to that project. But yet again, when you invest and you know what you're doing, you tend to make a profit, right? So I know you have your hands in quite a few different projects. What time do you have to invest in your personal wellness? Right, I know you're constantly on the go. You have kids to tend to, your family, and various projects and advising, etc. When do you typically tend to invest in you, in Dr. Goognin?
Hmm. Mm. In terms of physical wellness, so at first, I think the main source of wellness is our what's inside our mind. So our mindset, like I'm kind of happy guy, you know.
Okay.
I'm happy with everything I get from the universe each second, every moment. So because I had those ups and downs, and I know that right now I feel myself much better and much wealthier than 6 billion people or even 7 billion people in the world, and much better than 90% of my previous life. So
Respect.
that's why, yeah, I respect that, and I'm thankful, and I spread gratitude to everyone who's nearby, and that makes me healthier. It looks like a some kind of, I don't know, religious gospel or whatever, but
Are you good?
um, yeah, even there are a lot of scientific research papers regarding the connection between personal happiness and personal optimistic mindset and the immunity to different viruses, even the
Hmm.
COVID and whatever. So happy guys used to like feel themselves better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
simple, so dumb, but it just works. I don't know how to explain it, but it just
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned this because this is actually what I study, right? This is what I geek out about. I'm constantly learning about the mind body connection, epigenetics, and this the brain, body connection. So what you just mentioned right now, it's so true, right? When you're happy, the body releases certain endorphins and is able to provide you more energy, right? Compared to when you feel stress or sad, all right? When you're constantly in stress, the body is producing cortisol, which downregulate genes, right? Stress downregulate genes, which makes you more susceptible to illnesses. So this talk right now, this is my bread and butter, man. I love this conversation. Don't get me started. So I'm more about lifestyle, I'm more
Okay.
about mindset, I'm more about mind, body, and soul. So I'm glad you're constantly investing in your mindset because without being sound of mind, without having a peace of mind, how do you expect to operate at your optimal level? You have to invest in your mindset. It's mind, body, and soul, man. So I'm glad you're a
Yeah.
happy-go-lucky guy, man. I'm glad. I'm also glad you have perspective. You understand where you're at right now. It's better than where you were before. So you have something to compare. You know,
Yeah.
which is great. It's great. It helps to keep you focused and driven.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And
Yes, indeed.
a lot of people even hate that I am always smiling. Even, there were a lot of awful stuff like criminal research made by the competitors, like tax issues, government issues, whatever type of issues. There's a lot of headache is going on every day in the life of each entrepreneur in the world. When
Mhm.
you're doing something visible, a lot of people are trying to bite a piece of your equity. That's
Of
normal.
course.
Just look at Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or whoever. They are full of lawsuits and all that type of stuff. But they're still happy because they know that ups and downs are like it's a temporary stuff, and the only thing that can drive you is inside you, and it's delivered for free by design.
Yeah. There you go, man. Listen, like I said, once again, you're speaking my language, right? Because I tell people all the time, motivation is extrinsic, it comes and goes, but what lasts long is your intrinsic why, that inspiration, which is internal. So you're absolutely right. Everything you need to thrive and get to the next step is internal, man. Right? You can't,
Yeah, for
somebody else
sure.
can take that away from you.
No, that's the premium. That's the bonus stuff. No one can take it out of me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Dr. Goognin, man, I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your mindset and everything you're doing right now with, with influencing others and trying to not I won't say trying, I like using that word, but uplifting others and providing value on a daily basis, right? Um, Last but not least, how may I serve you?
Hmm. That's interesting because I don't have any direct requests right now, except um, Uh, as far as I am not an Ivy League alum and I have not lived in California or New York for my whole life, the only thing I am interested now is to build a local network in America. I do have a lot of folks, mostly in startup and crypto space, but is still interested in making it wider and deeper, especially in fintech and in venture capital, etc. So mostly I do need network.
Okay, okay. And you mentioned that you might be coming out here, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm going to immigrate to New York City with my whole family using the O1 visa for extraordinary persons. There's a lot of bureaucracy to fill out the form, etc., but it's worth it. I think because the most interesting for me in the US and in New York especially is the community of like-minded people who
Mm,
support you and who share your values and who would like to build some business together, etc. It's a very rare thing in the world because I've lived in a lot of countries in Asia and in Africa also. I've been to Ivory Coast and in Europe. So New York City has the drive, and we like that drive.
yeah, man, that's the concrete jungle,
Oh yeah,
once you're in New York, you have to go. You feel the energy.
yeah,
Once you get
yeah,
out there, you
yeah,
feel it. It's nonstop, man. It's
yeah,
nonstop. But at the
yeah.
same time, though, um, when you come out here, just make sure you continue to invest in your mindset because it could get a bit hectic with the stress, right? Because all that going nonstop, it tends to pull out a lot of wear and tear on the body. So
I'm
just to give
very
you a
strict. Yeah, I'm very strict
head.
in terms of separating the like my family living and my business. And you know what? That's why I love to deal with Jews. For example, I have a lot of Jewish friends in
Mhm.
Manhattan because they have Shabbat. They just
Oh yeah,
do
that's true.
nothing. And a Friday evening and a Saturday, they just hang out with family. And I think that's a great practice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. It's a good balance, man. It is a good balance.
Yeah,
So, if maybe entrepreneur or you're a a serial business owner, you're forced to put everything aside and hang out with the family, right, and commune and connect. So yeah, you definitely that's definitely a great thing right there. So, Dr. George, once again, I appreciate you for coming on today's podcast episode. Thank you for being patient with me because I'm utilizing a different platform today. And
That's
let's
okay.
continue to stay in communication, right? And also, I like to give thanks to all my viewers and listeners that came on today. Thanks for lending us your ears and your eyeballs. So make sure we stay tuned for next week's episode. Dr. George, let's keep in touch. Let's make magic happen and continue to provide value. Cheers. We out.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Take care.